one last thing. Talk about the last hour before midnight of when the regular session closed, and the governor had to call a special session the next day to get more cops passed.
What do you want to hear?
So, I want to hear a first-hand personal account.
I had already been running on minimal hours of sleep, and I don't function well without sleep. But there is usually up in our caucus room, people get together and it's a discussion, kind of a happy little time, just saying, hey, we're glad we're out of here. That little party had already started when myself and the leader, Mr. Hickey, had been called to the governor's office. And we went over there and spent time with the other leaders and discussing this special session. The governor has the authority to address only those issues that can be talked about in the special session. There was 5 of them. I can't remember what they are right now, but the more cops was the main issue. Otherwise, I don't think the others would come up. So immediately we were told that we were going to try to meet and get all the staff back and get them started. And they said it takes 2 or 3 hours to get everything fired back up again, because when people go home they shut everything down. And so it was actually about 8 o'clock in the morning. We sat there on the floor waiting, and I'm sure you saw pictures of many of us with our eyes glued to our cheeks, which I was one of them. And we finally got started, and we was out of there within about an hour and a half to 2 hours after we got it fired up and done. So,
you know, and that just begs the question, and you know, before I was teasing, and I'm not so sure that I'm not still teasing, but there is some validity to the complaint that, you know, you guys are there for 120 days, and everything gets done in the last 48 hours. You know, you and I have talked about this before. Us sitting down here in Mesquite have a difficult time figuring out, if you guys knew you wanted more cops passed, and that's a good example of I guess, what the complaint is. You guys knew from the very beginning you wanted more cops passed, or for the most part you knew that. And yet, it didn't get done.
well,
And there were other things
I'm not trying to defend anybody.
I'm not asking for defense, I'm asking for an explanation, because we don't ever see what's going on in order to either validate our complaint or say, okay, we understand.
Every day there's a committees going on. There's something constantly moving. I think the speaker on our side was very active in getting things moved along. She wanted to make sure that you know, if there was something important to people, that they took their priorities and try to get those things moved to the other side as fast as you can. Then the other stuff were bonus, so to speak.
Okay.
Those type of bills that were committee bills were moved over there expeditiously from our side of the house. I can't tell you what happens on the other side of the house, but I've only heard rumors myself, and then I've had an opportunity to go over, and our priorities are not their priorities. There is a distinct difference in the mental makeup of those houses. I don't know what it is, but you understand, we've got 42 people on our side to be able to function, and they've only got 21 on their side. So that's a lot more when you have those kind of bills moving over, that same amount of bills moving over to their side with less people. It does take a little longer. On the other hand, I think we moved their stuff right back across to them, but it still has to make that process. I think it's just exactly what happens in our federal legislature. Only it's worse there with more partisanship. This, like I said, I can't say enough about the way I felt about the nonpartisanship on it. So we're working well as a Southern Nevada caucus. We'll continue to have those meetings and continue to involve the communities and the business industry to make sure that we are ready next session to even do more good for the southern end of the state, you know, and take care of those needs that we have, which are definitely different from the north. So.
Is the Southern Nevada caucus going to continue to meet off session?
Yes.
When are they going to meet in Mesquite?
They probably won't come out to Mesquite.
Why not?
Because you have most of your legislators right there in Las Vegas.
So
we'll see what we can do.
Okay. All right, thanks.
But I'm sure you'll be invited or be aware when it happens. So.
Okay. Sounds great. All right, thank you so much. You know, appreciate all the work you did and all the hours that you put in during the session. And thanks for getting more cops passed.
Well, Even if it's a tax, it's still a tough one for somebody like me, so.
Well, it is a tax, but
It's
structured probably as best as you can
It is,
structure a
and
tax.
the people voted for it, so
Yeah.
give them what they vote for, because I think it is important for people to have that security, and Mesquite's had a great reputation of being a safe community, and it seems like the last year or so, it's been very difficult. A lot of stuff going on in Mesquite, especially while I was in sessions.
It never slows down. All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.